You know that feeling when you hear someone chewing really loudly? Or that constant click, click, click of a pen? For most of us, it's just annoying. But what if it was more? What if it felt like a full-blown assault? Well, today we're diving into exactly that, the fascinating and intense world of misophonia.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? We're going to get into what's happening deep inside the brain when a totally normal sound triggers this huge outsized response. And you'll see why this is so much more than just being a little sensitive to noise.
So, think about these sounds. Chewing, sniffling, tapping. They're literally the soundtrack to our lives, right? But for someone with misophonia, these aren't just background noise. Oh no. They are specific, targeted triggers that can set off this incredible wave of anger, anxiety, even disgust. And it's not a choice. It's this immediate, involuntary reaction that feels totally out of their control.
Okay, so let's put a real name and definition to what we're talking about. We're going to move past just the feeling and get into the actual clinical explanation of what misophonia is.
And here we go. Misophonia is a recognized neuropsychiatric condition. Now, that's a really important point. This isn't just a personality quirk or someone being difficult. It's a genuine disorder, and it's rooted in how the brain is wired to process certain sounds, causing very real emotional and physical blowback.
And this is maybe the most crucial distinction to make. It has almost nothing to do with how loud a sound is. Someone with misophonia could be perfectly fine at a rock concert, but the super quiet, repetitive sound of sniffing from across a library, that can feel absolutely unbearable. It's all about the specific pattern of the sound and the meaning their brain has attached to it.
You know, people often get this confused with another condition called hyperacusis, so let's clear that up. They sound similar, but they're worlds apart. Hyperacusis is when sounds are physically painful because of the volume. It's just too loud for the ears. Misophonia, it's that emotional, psychological gut punch from a specific sound, no matter how quiet it is. One is about volume, the other is all about context.
So what in the world is going on inside the brain to cause such an intense reaction? Let's peel back the layers and look at the neurology behind all this.
Okay, so research has zeroed in on a couple of key areas. You've got the anterior insular cortex, let's just call it the AIC, which is basically how you notice and process your own feelings. And then there's the amygdala, which is like the brain's little alarm system for threats and big emotions. In misophonia, these parts of the brain just go into overdrive when they hear a trigger sound. They light up like a Christmas tree. Honestly, this is the best way to think about it. For most of us, a sound like chewing is like a tiny, harmless puff of smoke. Our brain's smoke alarm doesn't even notice it. But in a brain with misophonia, that same little puff of smoke sets off a 5-alarm fire drill. The whole system goes into red alert, triggering this massive emergency response.
And that smoke alarm analogy? It's not just a cute idea. It's backed up by science. What researchers have found is this unusually strong, almost superhighway connection between the part of the brain that hears, the part that feels emotions, that's your limbic system, and the part that controls all your automatic body functions, like your heart rate. They're all wired together way too tightly.
And because of that miswiring, this isn't just in your head, it's a full-body experience. We're talking an uncontrollable flash of white-hot anger or disgust, a heart that's suddenly racing, a tightness in your chest, even your muscles getting tense, like you're clenching your fist without even realizing it. It's a literal fight-or-flight response to a sound.
So, if your brain and body are having this kind of meltdown over everyday sounds, what does that actually do to your life? Let's talk about the real-world ripple effect.
To really get the picture here, you have to first understand just how big the awareness gap is. Check out this number, 18.4%. So what is that? In a study, only 18.4% of university professors said they knew anything at all about misophonia. Just let that sink in. In a place that's all about learning, more than 80% of educators have no clue about a condition that can make it nearly impossible for a student to focus. When nobody around you gets it, you can feel incredibly alone. And that problem in school is just the tip of the iceberg. Living with this often means you start avoiding things, like family dinners, movie theaters, you name it. It puts a huge strain on relationships with people you love, because they just don't understand why you're reacting this way. And over time, that just builds walls, leading to real social isolation. It can shrink your world.
But, and this is a really important but, it is absolutely not a hopeless situation. Even though it can be completely debilitating, our understanding of how to manage it and live a full life is getting better all the time.
The key word here is management. Right now, there's no magic pill or cure. The goal of treatment isn't to make the triggers vanish. It's to dial down the intensity of that emotional reaction and to build up a powerful set of coping skills so you can navigate a world that's, well, full of noise.
And thankfully, that path forward is becoming really clear. Step 1 is getting a proper diagnosis from someone who actually gets the condition. From there, you can move into specific therapies. And maybe, most importantly, you start building your own personal toolkit of strategies for when you're in a trigger situation.
And that toolkit is actually pretty well stocked these days. Things like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help you challenge and reframe those negative thought patterns. Sound therapy can help retrain the brain's response. Simple things like mindfulness and relaxation techniques can give you real power in the moment. And for some, medication can help take the edge off the underlying anxiety. There are options.
So we started all this by asking if this was just about being annoyed. I think it's pretty